Welcome back for another season of Josh's NFC West breakdowns. I am so happy to see you here. And we are going to look at the Arizona Cardinals today, 1-0 on the road in the NFC West, staying in first place in what looks like it could be a competitive division. They put up 20 points in the Superdome. Things got a little crazy late. There was a blocked field goal, maybe a little closer than it should have been on the scoreboard. But we're going to take a look at all of that. Let's get right into it, because here on Josh's NFC West breakdowns, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. We're going to pick things up on Arizona's second drive on offense, and it looks like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be coming open over the middle here. On the other side, Trey McBride appears to be running just kind of like a clear route, but take a look, he gets past the safeties. He's going to be streaking wide open for a touchdown here. And when we take a look at this from the other angle, you're going to see Kyler Murray looks and looks and looks some more at this. Ultimately, he never decides to pull the trigger. He's standing on about the 30. It would be about a 60-yard throw. In any event, the clock in his head starts ticking, and he decides to take off. And this is what having a quarterback like Kyler Murray can do for you. When things don't go quite right on the field, he can make things happen with his legs. Take a look. He never really comes over to Marvin Harrison Jr. He took a long look at that potential play to McBride and then just decides to take off, and he gains 13 yards on the play. Murray would settle in pretty quickly. Here he sees again McBride, sees the defender breaking on the route, resets his feet, comes over to Marvin Harrison Jr., Kool-Aid McKinstry is lined up to the outside of him. He'll have to follow him over the middle on the trail technique. Don't worry about that linebacker. He's responsible for picking up the running back. Kyler Murray pulls the trigger. And then we see them kind of collide and go down. We're going to take another look at this from the other angle. Okay, and obviously contacting Harrison way before that ball gets there. That's not even close. I mean, could he try to say that their feet got tangled up? I don't know, but he was being physical with Marvin Harrison Jr. for the entire route. The flag would come out for pass interference, and I like the call. Arizona would use a nice mix of run and pass on the opening drive, and here they turn to the run with a little bit of misdirection. They pull both guards to their left, and they also have a tight end lined up on the left side of the formation as well. The idea of this is to make the defense think that this is going to be a run to the left, and indeed they react that way. This allows the right tackle to get downfield and set up his block, and that's the block that James Conner runs behind. Now, I've diagrammed it this way, but in reality, of course, these players are moving, so the area of the field that Conner runs is actually more in a straight line like this, so they don't even need to block the defensive end here. Conner just runs right by him. And it's a 12-yard chunk for James Conner. Arizona is able to finish off the drive with a field goal and take an early lead in this game, 3-0. The Saints would respond with a long drive of their own that would go into the second quarter. Facing a 2nd down and 3 from the 18-yard line, they would hand the football to Alvin Kamara. The right side of the offensive line blocks to their right, while the center, left guard, and left tackle block to their left, relatively speaking anyway. The tight end heads downfield to block, and that would end up being a key block that would spring Kamara at the end, but he doesn't block Mack Wilson. And this is interesting. Take a look at Kamara. He's running straight ahead as if he's going to go right in between the left tackle and the left guard there. Wilson starts to head over like he's going to fill that gap, and Kamara takes the opportunity to go to the right. Beautiful footwork from Kamara, and you can see Mack Wilson kind of going, oh, I should have just stayed on the other side there. I would have stopped him. The Cardinals had a few big plays in this game, and we're going to take a look at one of them here. Kool-Aid McKinstry is lined up against Marvin Harrison Jr. in press coverage. And as we've discussed on this channel before, if you line up in the press, there's the risk that you could get beat deep. And that's exactly what happens here. Unclear why he didn't get help from the safety. Something Marvin Harrison Jr. does here that I really like is he doesn't run right down the boundary. He runs a few yards to the inside. And this makes things a lot easier on the quarterback. He has room to go to the outside, and that's what we're going to see here too. Harrison adjusts, and it's an easy throw and catch. It looks easy. 45-yard gain on the play. What do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. The Cardinals would score on the drive when they call a crossing route between Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson. Wilson will try to interfere with Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's locked up with Marvin Harrison Jr. again in man coverage. Now, he's not allowed to hit him or bump him. He can't interfere with him. He just wants to disrupt the defense. So watch as he does a great job of moving out of the way, but he disrupts the play enough to allow Harrison Jr. to come open for the score. Touchdown, Arizona. The Saints would respond with a field goal, tying the game up at 10 apiece, but Arizona would get one more chance to score before the end of the half. Maybe a little confusion between Michael Wilson and Trey Benson on who's supposed to block the defensive end, Carl Granderson, and he's going to get a free shot at Kyler Murray here. But Murray just stays calm, climbs the pocket, and gets ready to scramble, and that draws the attention of the middle linebacker. Nobody's on Trey McBride, and Murray gets him the football, and believe it or not, this little catch and run is good for 25 yards. Really nice play by Kyler Murray there. Arizona would get in this time with a little misdirection. They start off with a fake run to James Conner, and to help sell the fake, they pull the left guard, Evan Brown. But then Kyler Murray pulls the football down and looks like he's going to throw a pass. And notice this draws the attention of the defensive end. Now Murray is free to shovel the football back to James Conner. This is technically a pass, but this has the effect of a running play, except now the blockers are in great position and they've removed a defender from the play. Touchdown, Arizona. It's a run. No, it's a pass. No, it's back to a run, sort of. You can see how that would be hard to defend. And take a look at this at the end. Demario Davis gets off the block of Evan Brown, and Brown doesn't hold him. He lets him go, doesn't give his team a penalty, and lets James Conner do his thing. Do you like these videos? This channel could be going away. It is getting harder and harder to put content like this on YouTube. We are quickly getting to the point where we are going to have to bring everybody over to our Patreon page. So for that reason, I have decided that all of these weekly breakdown videos will remain free for our free members on Patreon. It doesn't cost anything at all to sign up. You can sign up absolutely free and still get access to these videos. And if you decide you want to upgrade your membership later, you can get access to all the great bonus content we have. And folks, we have tiers starting at as little as $2 a month. So come check it out. Link is in the description. I'll see you guys over on Patreon. Okay, the third quarter has just started and the Saints are facing a 3rd and 7 from their own 37-yard line. Spencer Rattler starts out looking to his left. Nobody's open. And he doesn't really have time to go through any more reads because Baron Browning gets off his man and brings Rattler down for the sack. A great way to start the third quarter. Now this is impressive. Fuaga resorts to holding Browning, and Browning is still able to bring Rattler down. The flag comes out, Arizona will decline the penalty, and New Orleans will have to punt to the Cardinals. This might be my favorite play of the game. The center, Froholt, gets downfield and throws a great block. Michael Wilson also comes over and throws another key block, and the right tackle and fullback lead the way for Trey Benson. You can see the linebackers unable to come over and make the play because the center is making a real effort downfield. Benson gets around the corner, only one man left to stop him. He puts a move on Kool-Aid and gets another extra few yards, and he's still going down the field 40, 30, and finally brought down after a 52-yard run. The big play would lead to another Chad Ryland field goal attempt, which he would knock through, making the score Arizona 20, New Orleans 10. The Saints would respond with a field goal attempt of their own, which Blake Grupe would knock through. No, he missed. He missed. The score remains 20-10. Wow. Let's move ahead to the fourth quarter. 3rd and 10 here for the Saints, and we cannot tell the story of this game without telling the story of all the penalties that New Orleans committed on Sunday. 13 penalties for 89 yards by the Saints, and this one turns an already difficult 3rd and 10 into a much more difficult 3rd and 15. On 3rd and 15, Rattler looks over the middle, and Budda Baker and Dadrian Taylor-Demerson lay the hit on Brandon Cooks. Incomplete. Saints will punt again to the Cardinals. Dortch makes the first man miss. Makes the second and third man miss. Fourth man never had a chance. 50-45, and then finally brought down at the 40-yard line. A great return by Greg Dortch. And here, Arizona, with 8 minutes to go in the game, really started to get their ground game going. They threw a few times over the middle with Kyler Murray. Other than that, it was all runs and a few designed runs for the quarterback as well. They took a lot of time off the clock on this drive. With less than 5 minutes to play and a running clock and the Cardinals threatening to go up by 2 touchdowns essentially, the New Orleans Saints call their first timeout. This kick will put the Cardinals up 13 points with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to play, essentially giving them a 2-touchdown lead. But the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Brian Breesy makes a great play here, jumping over the line. Now he's not allowed to touch anybody, and he doesn't, and he gets to the football and blocks the kick. Huge play for the Saints. Oh my goodness. Spencer Rattler and the Saints get right to work, and Arizona puts 2 safeties back, and we see Budda Baker climb up into the box a little bit. Now, not unusual for Baker, but I was a little surprised to see this just given the game situation. 4 minutes left. You think you would keep everybody back deep, and the Saints seem to have a play ready for this. Rattler to Juwan Johnson on the dart. On 1st and goal, they would look to the end zone, but it's Mac Wilson coming up with a terrific pass breakup. On 2nd and goal, the right tackle gets absolutely smoked by Dante Stills, who penetrates immediately, and then Mac Wilson cleans up the play. On 3rd and goal, they fake the handoff to Alvin Kamara, and to really sell the fake, 2 tight ends and the receiver both block downfield. But the problem with this is it only leaves 1 receiver in the pattern for the Saints. Really, it almost looks like a broken play. I'm really not sure what they're doing here, but whatever it was they were trying to do, it did not work. Alvin Kamara, 4.8 yards per carry, only 11 carries in this game. Saints need to do a much better job trying to balance things between the run and the pass next week. Okay, and I stopped it here because it is worth noting that the entire offensive line and running back all move together as one, as a unit, as you would expect, of course. But the other tight end, Juwan Johnson, who had that big catch earlier on this drive, either forgot or didn't hear the snap count. He's late getting off the line and kind of gets blown up at the line, and I wonder if that contributed to the disaster that was this play. So the Saints have to resort to a field goal attempt, and they do knock it through, and it makes the score 20-13. But they have to give the ball back to the Cardinals with just 2 minutes 42 seconds left on the clock. Arizona doesn't mess around at all. They hand the football off, meaning the clock will keep running, forcing the Saints to call their second timeout. On 2nd down, the Saints bring an extra safety down into the box, and that makes sense for this game situation because they have got to stop the run here. They also line up with a 5-man front. Arizona tries to exploit this with a fake handoff this time and just a cheeky little play to Elijah Higgins. Now, they're able to complete this pass because the 5th man on the line of scrimmage, that extra rusher, was probably told just attack the backfield no matter what happens. But does this play really fool anybody at the linebacker level? No, not really, and the box safety is able to come over and make the play. Why? Well, take a look at the offensive line. High hats. They're clearly pass protecting on this play. Nevertheless, I would consider this play a success. They gain yardage inbounds, keeping the clock running, forcing the Saints to call their final timeout. 3rd and 4, jailbreak blitz, 7 men, everybody's coming, but wait, they're not. They actually drop 3 back into coverage. Arizona doesn't know who's coming, who's going, and they don't get it blocked up, and Kyler Murray has to eat a big sack. 15 yards lost on the play. Wow, but importantly, he didn't try to throw the ball away or do anything crazy, and they kept the clock running, and that would be significant. Okay, the Saints are driving, and it's 2nd and 5 now, despite the 2nd and 10 that you see there. They've got to get to the 33 for a first down. Pass complete. Kamara, and he falls forward, but he just does get the first down. Rattler gets up to the line and spikes the ball to stop the clock. So that makes it 2nd and 10 with 49 seconds left. We're going to move ahead to 3rd and 10 here with 43 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Rattler looks complete. Okay, now he only gains 9 yards on the play. They've got to get up to the line, but they can't spike it to stop the clock because it's 4th down. They have to run a play here. 4th and 1, here we go. Complete. Okay, first down, but that was inbounds. Tick, tick, tick. That clock is still running. Oh my goodness, look at that time ticking down. They've got to get everybody set. Has to be a legal formation. And then they stop the clock with just 14 seconds left. And that was first down, so now it's going to be 2nd down here. So they're going to get 3 shots. Every play's got to go to the end zone now. 3 shots at the end zone. Well, Arizona knows this, so they stick 3 safeties back into the end zone to make it as difficult as possible for the Saints. The Saints try a strategy of throwing just short of the goal line. Now he's got a step there, but the man is all over him, so Rattler puts this ball low and away to try to give his man a chance, and the pass falls incomplete. Okay, that was 2nd and goal. It's 3rd and goal now with just 9 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and this is it. This is the play that everyone's saying, oh, if he had just held on, the Saints could have won that game. I don't know if the Arizona defense gets enough credit for breaking this pass up. So we're going to take another look from this angle. Watch Jalen Thompson swat, bobble, and then Budda Baker knocks it out. That play was made by the defense. Either way, it's 4th down now, and there's only 4 seconds left. So this is it. This is it right here. Shot to the end zone, and it's out of bounds. The pass goes out of bounds. Cardinals win the game. And yeah, he got a hand on it, but well out of bounds. That one had no chance. Arizona's defense absolutely won this at the end of the game. And that's it. There's no more camera footage because the game is over. Wow, what a game. What a game that was for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, maybe they could have put the thing to bed a little bit sooner, but I think for the most part, they did almost everything you want to see a team do down the stretch there. They took over with about 8 minutes to go, took a bunch of time off the clock, got it down to about 4 minutes, 40 seconds, and then the Saints just made a great play on that field goal block that kept them in the game. When the Saints got down to the end zone, on that first drive, Arizona held them out. That defense was strong. They held them out of the end zone, forced them into that field goal. And then when they got the ball back, Arizona ran the ball, took time off the clock, again, did everything right, took the big sack on 3rd down. You don't want to see that. That needs to be cleaned up. But, Kyler Murray did the right thing. He just ate the football. They took more time off the clock and really put the Saints in a difficult situation where they were going to have to drive the length of the field and score a touchdown with no timeouts. That's really hard to do in the NFL. Now, they came close, but again, Budda Baker and that defense stood tall, kept the Saints out of the end zone for the win on the last play of the game. Wow, very cool. They held Spencer Rattler to just 58.7% passing. That's below 60% is not going to get it done in the NFL. Just 4.7 yards per attempt, quarterback rating of 70.4, and Rattler had 46 attempts. They really tested that Arizona D in the passing game, and Arizona stood strong. Kyler Murray, on the other hand, much better, 72.4%, 2 touchdown passes, and a quarterback rating of 108.8. A good game from Kyler Murray. The ground game got it done when they needed. That big run by Trey Benson, that was a big play in this game, and Arizona is 1-0, and that's ultimately what counts the most, right? Out of everything that we've talked about, they're 1-0, and they're 1-0 on the road. Folks, if you donated to this channel last year, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It truly means a lot to me. I can't believe you guys do it. Thank you so much. You humble me and you honor me. If you're interested in that, there's links below. And again, we want to get everybody over to the Patreon page. It's free to sign up, and you get these videos for free because this channel could be going away. All right, let's talk about a brighter future perhaps for the Arizona Cardinals. They come back home to the desert next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Very winnable game for Arizona. I could easily see them starting out 2-0 in the NFC West, which appears to be wide open again this year. Rams fans might say otherwise, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's why they play the games. But whatever happens in that game, we are going to be here to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.